rain and higher temperature, and the tropical cloud force that's from the higher lands. That is what you're going to experience today when you go to the volcano. It's a volcano, it's a top force that is fresh, that is moist, that's not to do that much like with evaporated water or like from the steam that's after the rain. It's like heated by the sun, but more because of the clouds, the condensation. So it's a mist that's there. So we're basically in that transition. This transition is perfect to produce coffee. Everything your eyes can reach used to be planted with coffee, like everything. There's still some coffee plantations, by the way. I have to tell you something, or even ask you. Do you know, not the Spanish speakers, I know a lot of you speak Spanish. What is the meaning of the two words Costa Rica?
Me.
I know you know. I know you know. I heard somebody saying it. Rich Coast. Do you know who gave that name to us? No? Exactamente. Christopher Columbus. I have to tell you this story. You know, Christopher Columbus came 4 times here, right? So, in his 4th trip, he was very sick. It was kind of like a little tired. There were long trips to come from Europe to our continent. So he was very sick. It was his 4th trip. Had not yet realized where he was. He was still in the Indias. So, however, when he was approaching our land, he was in like the deck of the boat. And this is what the legend says, that he was looking towards the mainland. He was very close. And then he sees this glare, this shine. And then when he gets closer, he realizes that these people that were about this tall, they were like 4.5 foot tall, and they had plates of gold that were sawed to their skin, their pectorals, their throat, their forehead. Literally, they saw the gold to their skull, to their chest, to their thighs. And they had lots of colors and necklaces made out of jade. When he saw this, they said, this has to be the richest coast that I've ever seen, out of the ones that I've seen in this trip. I have to tell you, unfortunately, he was fooled by this. Costa Rica is the poorest country in the whole continent, talking about metals, talking about gold, talking about silver, anything. You know the reason? Remember that I just told you that Costa Rica is the newest portion of the tropical areas. We're so young that we haven't been here long enough to develop not metals, we haven't developed like oil or natural gas. We're too young for that, geologically speaking. So we fooled him. We really did. And also the name of Rich Coast fooled a lot of people, that the majority of them started to come here in the 1600s and the 1500s were by mistaken by the name of Rich Coast. So then Costa Rica was probably one of the poorest countries in the world then. There was nothing here. At least none of the wealth that they were looking for. They were looking for gold, silver, precious gems. It's like you went to Colombia and Colombia had this amazing resources of emeralds and gold and silver. You went to Mexico, gold, silver. You come here, nothing. You know really when Costa Rica's economy started? When we, by accident, finally got a coffee plant that was brought as an ornamental plant. We discovered that in North America and in Europe, they were making a drink out of getting the seeds of that berry and getting them roasted, and they drank something we were like, ew, like a drink made out of burnt or roasted seeds. That doesn't sound good, because they made a drink out of getting the juice of the sugar cane, and then they turned it into a chunk that they melt in water, so it was nice and sweet. So